Russia has deployed additional Su-30 SM-2 fighter jets to Kaliningrad for new precision strike exercises. The latest deployment has renewed security concerns across NATO's eastern flank after the reported missile incident in Poland. Moscow says the aircraft rehearsed long-range strike missions against simulated military targets. The drills underline Kaliningrad's growing role as Russia's forward military stronghold in Europe. Russia reportedly deployed 10 Su-30 SM-2 fighter jets for precision strike drills in Kaliningrad, according to Military Watch magazine. The report emerged just hours before Poland accused Russia of firing a missile that landed inside Polish territory. Poland said a Russian missile landed and exploded inside its territory during the early hours of July 30th, according to CNN. Authorities said the missile struck about 55 miles inside Poland, leaving behind a large impact crater. Russia's Baltic Fleet said the Su-30 SM-2 fighters rehearsed precision strikes against simulated enemy military targets during the exercise. The drills included attacks on command posts, fortified defensive positions and armored formations in a high-intensity combat scenario. Russian pilots first carried out aerial reconnaissance missions before launching coordinated strike operations against designated targets. The exercise also featured close air support missions designed to simulate combat during a large-scale conventional conflict. The fighter aircraft dropped practice bombs before conducting follow-on attacks using rockets and onboard cannon fire. Kaliningrad remains one of Russia's most heavily militarized forward outposts, directly facing NATO territory in Europe. Kaliningrad is Russia's heavily fortified Baltic exclave, located between NATO members Poland and Lithuania. Its location gives Russian forces rapid military access to Central and Northern Europe during a regional crisis. The enclave is protected by layered air defense systems designed to shield key military infrastructure and deployed forces. Kaliningrad also serves as a major hub supporting both Russian naval aviation and Baltic Fleet operations. The exercise took place as NATO continued expanding its military presence and force posture around the Kaliningrad region. Meanwhile, the Su-30 SM-2 has become one of the Russian Navy's primary multi-role fighter platforms for strike operations. The Su-30 SM-2 is a twin-seat multi-role combat aircraft designed for both air superiority and precision strike missions. It is powered by AL-41F1S turbofan engines, providing improved performance and greater operational flexibility. The aircraft incorporates multiple technologies derived from Russia's more advanced Su-35 fighter program. Its upgraded systems enhance both air-to-air combat performance and long-range strike capabilities. The Su-30 SM-2 can carry a wide range of precision-guided bombs and advanced air-to-surface missile systems. The aircraft is also compatible with standoff cruise missiles for engaging targets from extended distances. It can deploy anti-ship weapons, giving it significant maritime strike capability during naval operations. Its combination of a large payload and long combat radius supports extended multi-role strike missions. Russia continues modernizing its tactical fighter fleet as European NATO members rapidly expand deployments of F-35 fighters. Moscow has also said it expects to field a third regiment of Su-57 fifth-generation stealth fighters within the next year.
What do you ask? First of all, we're very thankful to senators and we're very thankful for this discussion. The discussion was with details how to help Ukraine, and we are thankful that this bill is very important. Sanctions pressure on Russia is very important, and really it gives. It's not only about money, how to stop to finance this war, but it's also a big signal to Europe, big signal to Ukraine, big support of our people. So I'm very thankful. I hope that, God bless, we will have positive results.
How was the visit overall? Have you achieved the goal? Will Ukraine receive more missiles? What was the conversation with Donald Trump?
We speak about Patriot missiles. Really, it's true. Now we spoke with the senators about it. So that Ukraine really can produce everything which can destroy everything from Iranian Shaheeds to Russian drones and etc. We have drone interceptors, modern systems of electronic warfare. Real problem is anti-ballistic systems and anti-ballistic missiles. And of course I shared what we need, our needs. I shared it with the president today. I'm very thankful to him for this meeting, and now I shared with senators. So we will try to manage it. It's a big challenge.
Russian forces have entered the Ukrainian town of Drushkivka, according to battlefield reports that describe fighting spreading into the wider Kostiantynivka, Drushkivka area. Details of this fresh advance were reported by Sputnik International on July 28, which framed the move as another step in Moscow's push through the Donbass fortress belt. The Russian battle group said, and I quote, "While Ukrainian propagandists continue peddling claims that Konstantinivka is still ours and that the Russians haven't even come close, our units are already moving steadily forward." Unquote. Drushkivka lies between Kostiantynivka and Slavyansk in the western part of Donbass, forming part of a critical cluster of towns on Ukraine's defensive line. Moving into Drushkivka puts Russian forces at the doorstep of Ukraine's defensive bastions, bringing them closer to the heavily fortified fortress belt that shields Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, and surrounding areas. Since 2014, Ukraine has developed a fortified defensive belt in key parts of the region, building layered trenches, obstacles, and strongpoints to slow any Russian advance. Ukraine's defensive belt has been anchored around Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Drushkivka, and Kostiantynivka, creating a 30-mile wall of fortifications in western Donetsk. In December 2025, Moscow claimed to have captured Pokrovsk city, widely considered a gateway to Donetsk and a major logistics hub for the region. Russia had been eyeing the capture of Pokrovsk, called Krasnoarmysk by Moscow, for months, with Putin repeatedly highlighting its strategic value in televised briefings. Pokrovsk functioned as a key logistic hub for Ukrainian troops in the Donetsk region, sitting on vital road and rail lines that fed the fortress belt to the east. For Putin, control of Donbass is one of several non-negotiable pillars of any peace deal, with demands that Ukraine concede all of Donbass and parts of so-called Novorossiya. However, Putin's demand runs directly against Zelensky's red line of maintaining Ukraine's territorial integrity and refusing to formally cede occupied regions. Strategically, control of Donbass provides a land corridor linking Russia to Crimea and the Azov Sea, tightening Moscow's grip on southern Ukraine. The territory also expands Russia's ability to project power into southern Ukraine and the Black Sea, supporting logistics, missile bases, and naval operations. Holding Donbass gives Moscow leverage over Kyiv's future alignment with NATO and the EU, allowing the Kremlin to pressure Ukraine's foreign policy choices from a stronger position. Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Zelensky met with US President Trump to demand more weapons and air defense systems, hoping to reinforce the fortress belt just as Russian forces press closer to Drushkivka. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said he spoke with the US President about weapons aid and the urgent need to strengthen Ukraine's air defenses during his Washington visit. Zelensky stated that he highlighted Ukraine's need for anti-ballistic missile systems and interceptors, stressing that this is now the country's real problem in defending its cities.
Well, first of all, we are very thankful with senators and we are very thankful for this discussion. This discussion was with ideas of how to help Ukraine, and we are thankful that this bill is very important. Sanctions pressure on Russia is very important. And really is not only about money, how to stop to finance this war, but is also a big signal to Europe, big signal to Ukraine, big support of our people. So I'm very thankful. God bless, will have positive result. Will Ukraine receive war missiles? What was the conversation with Donald Trump? We speak about unintelligible missiles, and really through now we spoke about senators about it. So that Ukraine really can produce everything which can destroy everything from Iranian, unintelligible, to Russian drones and etc. We have drone interceptors more than systems of electronic, unintelligible. Real problem is anti-ballistic systems and anti-ballistic missiles. And of course I shared what we need, our needs. I shared it with the president today, and we are thankful for him for this meeting. And now I shared it with senators. So we will try to manage it. It's a big challenge.